Hey everyone, it's your girl Darlencia, and I am so excited for this episode of Creative Spotlight Unplugged. So today we're going to really take a highlight into the fashion industry. I invited two of my friends who are personal shoppers and stylists to come into this episode to give us an inside look on how to get the right look. So before we get started, I'm going to invite them over so we can get an inside look on their outfit. The theme that they were given was spring, but casual, with a little hint of brunch. All right, so I'm going to invite our first guest. Her name is Mellz. So please, Mellz, can you grace us on the screen? Hi, beautiful. Thank you for coming. Wow, look at you. Mellz, can you do a 360 for us? Wow, yes. So explain to us the look. I love the colors that you have on, the lime green and the jean denim, but you can explain better than I can. So what you got on, what inspired you to do this look?
So I know you said, let's do a little brunch. Let's do something that kind of represents me.
Right.
I'm somebody that's very colorful. Growing up, it was always something like a dark skin, light skin complex.
Yeah.
Where, sometimes they would say like, you're too dark to wear certain colors, you're too light to wear certain colors. And I've always grown up like, no, you can wear whatever color. It's all up to you, right, how you represent yourself and how you go about putting the outfits together. So I've always been a very colorful person. So I figured, why not put one of my favorite colors, represent money anyways.
Okay.
So I said, let's go with a little green today. I kept it real simple. Right. I wanted to do more on the low end. Yeah. With what MellzBouchic is, it's about elevating your fashion in different ways, being budget friendly, and just overall being who you are. So I said, you know what, let's go with a little Primark denim skirt. Right. Let's go with a boutique top, and then we have the schutz, tall boots to complement.
What are they called again? The
schutz. They call it schutz. That's a brand.
Schutz. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So they're pretty good with high and lows of what the prices. They usually have great sales. So I decided to do it more on the budget-friendly style today. Sometimes you can bring it all the way up. Sometimes you can bring it down. Right. But today I feel like it's budget-friendly. Yes.
So what would you say, how much is all this cost to put it together? Even if it was just found in your closet, how much would you say?
To put something like this, okay, well, the boots are the most priciest of it all. Yeah. So I would say this outfit can run you about $150, $175 to put together just because of the boots.
Right. Okay. I love the look. Could we get another 360? This is giving casual spring, a little bit of brunch, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. So we're going to bring our next stylist. Her name is Jasmine, CEO of Zulette. Could we have you come on set, please? Ooh, okay, she came in two clutches. Hi, mamas. How are you? Thank you for coming. And wow, so madame, please show us what you have on.
So we're gonna start from the top to the bottom. So the blazer is from Shop Akira.
Okay.
This is actually $100.
Okay.
And I wanted to give a trendy vibe, trendy, classy. I am super conservative and I love blazers ever since I was in high school. So I feel like blazers suit me. And I like to be comfortable, super comfortable.
Yeah.
So these are from Amazon.
The shoes?
No, the cargos. The cargos are from Amazon, and the shoes are ASOS. So I bought this as something from my closet. So I have the metallic bag and the zebra clutch. So the metallic, you could dim it down a little bit. This is actually from Primark, $14. Okay. I didn't really love Primark, and I just, I went out this weekend and my friends like, you have to check out Primark. They're killing it this season. So I bought this.
I haven't been to Primark in so long.
This was actually the Rita Ora collection.
Right.
And the clutch is from Amazon as well. And I feel like this is stock and stare. So you could either elevate it with some sneakers or you could wear loafers. So this is my look.
I love it. I was just telling Yasmine before the show that I have like these zebra printed boots, and I don't know how to wear it. So how could you kind of style this like zebra, inspired by clutch?
I think to me, to be honest with you can't be afraid. I feel like you have to step out your comfort zone when you're wearing powerful things, because you might think it's not going to look good, and then, someone's in the street saying, oh, wow. I think you just have to step out your comfort zone. So I think, just like you said with your zebra boots, I think a pink dress
Wow,
or
that'd
you know,
be so bold.
a bodysuit.
Right.
But you know, the pink is super bold. So I just think it's important to step out your comfort zone when you're wearing bold items. You know, when you look good, you feel good.
When you look good, you feel good. Could we get another spin, please? And I just want to bring both stylists up so we could just see like what they're really giving. So, by the way, what would you say all of this came up to? Pick one of the clutches.
I'll pick this one.
Okay.
I think all of this came up to, $200.
$200?
The blazer was already $100.
Right,
so
right.
So added up 40, about $200.
Awesome. I love it. I'm going to get out the scene really fast so we could just admire our two stylists. Look at that. And if you guys can do like a little spin, ladies. Nice.
You look so good.
I love it. Hey everyone, welcome to the second part of Creative Spotlight Unplugged. Now we're going to get an inside look of our two stylists. First one being the style doctor, aka confidence booster. We have Jasmine, who is the CEO of luxurious fashion brand Zulette. All right. And we also have Mel Styles, who is the CEO of MellzBouchic. She believes when you look good, you feel good. So again, thank you two ladies for being here today. You two look amazing. I love the two different like dynamic fashion trends that you have going on. But I know a little bit about you two. Could you two both provide a brief introduction of yourself and your brand? Mellz, could we hear from you first?
Okay. Well, my name is MellzBouchic, and what I represent is styling and personal shopping for the average day woman. And the reason why we say the average day woman is because I consider myself an average day woman. And sometimes when it comes to personal shopping and styling, people have this conception that you have to be rich to afford a stylist, and it's so not true. A lot of these days, a lot of these stylists are really budget friendly. So as myself and a little bit of Jasmine as well as what I've seen from her work, we're pretty budget friendly, and that's pretty much what MellzBouchic is about. Just being able to style the average day woman and being budget friendly.
Yeah, I love that. And Jasmine, a little bit about yourself and your brand.
Hi, my name is YasmineJean. I am the style booster. And a little bit about my brand, I'm all about uplifting women.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of my clients, they don't have any confidence. So, you know, the first thing I like to do is build my relationships with my clients. So before I get into styling, I like to ask the average woman day to day, like, what do they do for a living? And from then, that's when I get into, you know, the styling with them. And then they'll tell me, I'm tired of my wardrobe, my everyday wardrobe, because of, it could be a work woman, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I go by, asking them what's their budget, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then from then, that's where, you'll know their work, and then you'll build from there.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because that brings us to our next question. Could you share a memorable story of when you helped a client who was on a tight budget and perhaps was, struggling through their journey of confidence?
I always, one of my clients, they went through a divorce. So that divorce completely broke her. So for me, I'm kind of like their therapist. So before going into styling, I like to find out, a little bit about the marriage and why they had the falling out. And then she gained a lot of weight, So from then, and she actually had lost her job too. So from then, I used my sites that I go shopping sometimes with them, like, Shop Akira, Nasty Gal.
Ooh, not Fashion Nova. That's my site.
No, we didn't do Fashion Nova. Yeah. We did I feel like my style is more, quality, but still budget friendly. So Shop Akira and Nasty Gal and Miss Lola is where I went with her. And, she, from then we went into, conversations of her gaining weight. She said, she wants to hit the gym. And I'm like, you know what? You don't need to hit the gym. Love yourself where you're at, in your life. And it's important for me to tell my clients, don't rush and lose weight. Love yourself and love who you are where you're at. So for me, it's very pivotal for me to, give them that confidence, that reassurance that, that don't worry about, losing weight, love yourself where you're at.
And ultimately, did she end up loving the look? I assume yes.
Yes, she definitely loved the look. Yeah. I went with, vibrant colors, bright colors. She loved floral. And so I went for pink, green, yellow, orange, and then I went with like, she liked puffer boots. She loved platforms. Okay. So I kind of, a little bit of my style went into her. Okay. But still kept it simple.
I love it. Yeah. Could you relate in any way as well for one of your clients?
Absolutely. The first thing is always just getting to know who you're working with, because everyone is just obviously not the same person. So I always go with having that conversation and finding out who you are, because they can all say, Mel, I love the way you dress and I would look like you. Yeah. And then I bring you everything and it's like, whoa, this might be a little too much for me. So I always just tell people, tell me who you are and what it is that you want. And so my thing is like, I'm not here to change your style. I'm here to enhance your fashion.
Oh, that's good.
So enhancing the fashion is just being typically who you really are. And sometimes these girls have issues of actually finding out where to get the pieces. Or, Mel, I want a pair of high-waisted pants. I've never worn these things. So it's also my job to introduce them to things that I personally think that will look well on them as well. Yeah. And once they graduate and see that whole aspect of like, oh, wow, I never thought this would look good on me. And then I bring it to them styled. Then it's like, okay, Mel, guess what? When I went out, I actually bought these pants and I never thought it would look good on me, but because of you really like showed me a different side of that. So that's my job, is to pretty much enhance your fashion, bring out different aspects of you that you didn't even know that you would like, and we move forward that way.
Right. I don't think I've even mentioned that. So Mellz actually styled me before. Yeah. For my networking event, Union Patient Creatives, the second one. And I remember our first consultation call, and she asked me like, so what is your style? What is your look? And I'm like, girl, I'm not a fashionista. I look nice. I can look nice, but I don't necessarily know how to do it creatively. And, she walked me through like, okay, like just so many different questions that I really didn't think of. So I really do appreciate you too for doing that with your clients, because for a lot of us who's really, we want to look nice, but it's not really as important to us. It is something that like help, navigate us and, So what are some misconceptions about personal shopping? Because they don't only style, but they also, do some personal shopping. So what are some misconceptions about that? And how could individuals leverage that to be more like budget friendly?
The misconception, just like I'm a piggyback on is you need to be rich. You do not have to be rich.
Yes. That's really the biggest.
And I've learned that working at Saks Fifth Avenue as a personal shopper, a lot of them are not wealthy. They just love expensive things. And from building my client book and leaving, I changed that whole perspective, because the client is spending so much money. And I'm like, girl, you do the sale. Pick this, go to the sale. So a lot of my clients love sample sales. Yeah. So I think it's important to, when you're working with your client, know your client obviously, but know that, give them that, there's a loyalty awards. A lot of the clients don't know about loyalty awards. They don't know about sample sales. They don't know
what days to shop. There's certain days in certain stores like Macy's. It's always great to shop like on a Wednesday, so they'll have those sales. Always pay attention like to magazines. Well, not magazines now. Social media is so big now, where they'll tell you like, hey, so and so is going to be having a 25 to 40% off. Those are the times, if you're somebody that wants to be on a budget friendly aspect of it, you would definitely want to go and take advantage of those type of days.
It's so hard now, because the trend now is it's always been, it's like you need the most expensive thing to look good, because that's what celebrities are doing. Right. So if you look at Kanye West, who I think he's a genius, not only musically, but also fashion wise, he came out with like t-shirts that had holes in it, sold that for like over $300. Right. So like, how can we kind of like, that's how we can kind of feel as though, we need to spend more, even if it looks raggedy, so that we could look like our next celebrity,
Yeah, so I think to me, just tapping into your creativity. I feel like Kanye West, and that's one of my inspirations. He deconstructs. He has such a big mindset, and he's always ready to do things that come that's out of this world. Exactly, and being ordinary and being different is why it's super important to step out your comfort zone. Deconstruct your shirt, cut it into pieces. I used to do a lot of tie-dyeing back in the days. And I always tell, like, I have a client, she told me she knows how to style herself because she works in fashion. Right. But she wants to step out her comfort zone and be different. Just because you work in fashion doesn't mean you know how to style yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important just to trust yourself and just do something that you've never done.
I love that you say that. trusting yourself, right? So I don't think a lot of us actually think about that. What you wear can actually have an impact on how you feel, aka your confidence. How does dressing, relate to like someone's confidence, and how could you did you see that within some of your own clients? And if so, how?
Well, when it comes to the clients, sometimes it's weight issues. Sometimes they have that, I've never done this before. Mm-hmm. And again, I think it's also the social media that has polluted a lot of everyone's minds of feeling like, oh my gosh, if I don't spend that much, then I won't look good. And it's so not true. I think you just really have to tap into yourself and tell yourself, like, you know what, I want to look good, I want to feel good. And that's what MellzBouchic is really about, looking good and feeling good and just being truly yourself. And like, I didn't start buying any name brand until I was about 26. I'm turning 36 now, and I've always been in fashion.
She don't even look like it. I mean, 36 and 26.
I've always been into fashion since I was in junior high school. I left 5th grade, and I said, you know what? I'm going into 6th grade. It's going to be a whole different life for me. And I was just going to go and be that girl that was always fashionable. So I pushed my parents to get me all the latest things as far as like sneakers. And then I went to high school. I was always like named the best dressed, and I moved on forward. I didn't really know that styling was where the direction of my life was going to be until God walked in, and that's history from there.
Yeah, I love that.
That's crazy because we have the similar life path. Senior year, I went best dressed out of my whole senior high school.
Okay.
And honestly, I grew up a tomboy. Like, till this day, I still have it in me. But obviously, as you get older, you become conscious. You become, who you are. And, you become a little girly. So for me, I've always been conservative. Always wore a blazer. I had like 10 different blazers in 10 different colors. And honestly, I did not think fashion would be me today. I thought I was going to be a speech pathologist. I thought I was going to be a psychologist. I thought I was going to go into social work. So it's so funny how life can just take a shift when you graduate high school, and people believed in me, because remember we had that conversation, Dara, where you said fashion can be intimidating. So to me at the time, I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I could do this. But it's just taking that leap of faith and just starting off and interning and getting into, retail. I think retail is always the start. And asking questions like your favorite guru on social media and jumping into that and finding out who's your inspiration. But I think it also, for me, how I got into fashion was through fashion recruitment. There was recruiters that reached out to me, and they were like my fashion therapists. So they would guide me, look at my resume, see what's the best pick for a good job. So again, it's just all about stepping out in faith and just believing in who you are.
I love that. When I first started in dancing, and I didn't know that was something that God was compelling me to do. So that's where I started, same as you two, in high school. I went to a high school. I saw that it was very diverse, but there was not a space for Caribbeans. So I said, I want to create a space for Caribbeans where we can actually create a safe hub. And that's where I learned how to dance as well. And that led me to now, so many years later, teaching dances all over the world. So I love that. And I think it all has to do with timing. So how do you feel as though God's timing is influential in not just a stylist's life, but in any entrepreneur's lives?
Well, for me, God's timing started 2 ways for me because my sister was on a spiritual journey before I really got into it. We didn't grow up much in the church, so it was something like kind of new of, hearing God was going to be the one that was going to lead me into the direction of where I am today. And she always used to say, like, Mel, like, you really have this gift. You always styling your friends. Like, you should be a stylist. And I truly didn't believe in my heart that that's where I was going to be today. I was just more like, I don't know, you think so? And I actually was dating someone at the time. And then when I mentioned it to him, us girls, we're dating guys, really into them, their word is kind of golden, right? So I had told him, like, what my sister said about me styling. And he kind of brushed it off. Like, girl, go back to school. Like, you're not going to make no money in that situation. Like, there's no one that really needs these type of people in their life. And it really completely down. And and I never told her that. And she just always used to push me and be like, come, I'm gonna give you some money. You're gonna go and put some stuff on the rack. Like, she really motivated me to be who I am today. And then we had a big event, and then everybody in the neighborhood knew me for being this fashion person because I lived in Brooklyn all my life.
Yeah.
So everyone in the neighborhood from junior high school already knew that, this is where I should be going. Because when I brought it up, they were like, girl, we've been waiting for you to get into fashion. We knew this is where the lane you were going. And it's so crazy that people will be the ones to tell you what your next move in life will be.
I love that you say that. Sometimes people see it in you before you see it in yourself.
And that's what it was.
Right.
Like I got bookings like the first 2 weeks of me walking into the business, and it was like, okay, and I started to just grow and grow. I was out in Staten Island working with AT&T. I worked there for like 12 years. I did both at the same time.
Right.
And then as I started to gain a relationship with God, he then told me it was time for me to leave my job and take this on full on. So I was like, I don't know, but I was trusting God, but I always had that like, Mel, you know how to run your own show. You know what's good for you, but it's like one day he woke me up and he said, Mel, this is all over. You are going to put your best foot forward and you're going to push MellzBouchic.
Right. Yasmine, what would you say for yourself?
So for me, I'm not going to lie. I was just growing my page, just posting different fashion celebrities. And then one day, a fashion editor reached out to me.
Wow.
Women's, Who, What's, Where. That's what it was called.
Right.
She wrote about me and she asked me like, I'm going to write about you and I want to know what you should wear for the fall.
Right.
And what should you ditch. And in that moment, I was like, wow, like I didn't think that was the direction because people, I'm Caribbean, so they always say you don't make money in fashion. But from then it was like a shift for me. I'm like, okay, I'm on Who What Wear. I'm featured on Who What Wear. And from then I knew that it was God's timing, my calling. And for any inspiring person out there, seek a mentor. Again, intern.
Believe in yourself. That's number one.
And obviously, just get a retail job and from them to see how it works. And that's how I knew I didn't want to work for anyone. It's just starting in retail because you have to start somewhere. So I'm going to say start somewhere, but if you know that's not where you want to finish off, believe in yourself.
I love that you say that because that actually brings me to my next question on like, what would you encourage our viewers who are trying to start something but they're struggling with believing with themselves? It's easier said than done. It is difficult, especially when you have people, like you mentioned your ex who like killed the dream so early. And if you believed in what he said, you wouldn't have been here today. But you kept on pushing, and your sister kept on motivating you. Some of us may not have your sister in our lives. You know what I'm saying? So how could we push? And what would you encourage others to actually get to that point of believing in themselves?
Trust God.
Yeah.
Trust God is the first thing. I think you need to lay it at his feet. Tell him everything that you need to know, that you want.
That's good.
Be very specific of the type of clientele that you want. Be very specific of, what you want out of the business. Be very specific about what your next move would want to be. Yeah. And just trust the fact that he will lead you in the right direction.
That's
and then, of course, have the good mindset of people around you as well. That's so important to have the right type of people that will push you, that will motivate you into being who you want to be. But the first thing I would always say is trust God and trust his word. And, you're going to hear his voice. If you really want to put your foot forward, you really hear his voice. And once you hear it, just keep the good energy and the good people around you, and you'll see how far you'll go.
That's so good. Yasmine, do you have anything to add?
Yes, projection is a real disease, so don't let no one.
Ooh, that is so good. What do you mean by that? I know what you mean, but
projections, because sometimes, just like she said, her boyfriend was projecting, and to me, people will tell you, "Oh my, I don't think you should do that." It's because they can't do it.
Wow.
So don't let people put fear and doubt in your body because it will drive you crazy. So always come out on the other side and be positive, because I believe that projection is a real disease, and I would have not got here at this point if I let people, places, and things project their negative energy on me, because you can do whatever you put your mind to, because our mind is powerful.
Yeah, that's so true. I feel like I could speak with these two ladies all day. So where could we find you?
Okay, my Instagram is StyledbyYasmineJean, and my website is StyledbyYasmineJean. So, and you could also find me on Google.
Awesome, I love it. And Zulette.
Oh, Zulette. I didn't want to talk about Zulette, but I am the CEO and founder of a luxurious fashion brand, so you can find me there. And well, I'll be outside this summer, so.
Period. She outside. Where can we find you?
Yep, and you can find me at MellzBouchic on Instagram, and you can also find me at www.MellzBouchic.com just to see a little bit of who I am and a little background of what I do. And yep, here we go.
Period. I love it. Please follow Creative Spotlight Unplugged. This episode will be available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Ladies, thank you so much for being here. Yes,
and nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you. And we hope that we encourage at least one person today to feel good about what they wear and to also tap into a personal shopper if you need some guidance on that as well. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next episode of Creative Spotlight Unplugged.
Wow.